The following is a sponsored program paid for by Robin Gwaltney Group-RE Results. Welcome to Rochester Real Estate, featuring Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group-RE Results and Andy Brownell. Here's Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk, 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Good morning. It's Saturday again. I'm Andy Brownell, along with Robin Gwaltney Group-RE Results. Good morning, Robin.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
Checking off the list of things that have to be done for the holidays, which I can't believe it's less than a week until we're at Christmas already.
Less than a week, half a week, buddy. We have a few days. Today is the 20th. Christmas Eve is the 24th. So, I don't even know how that happened. I am pretty ready. I am going to say I am pretty ready, but it's still crazy how fast it just came on us.
I know.
Unreal.
And, we're having what we call a traditional Minnesota December this year. Not one of these.
Oh, my gosh.
Snow, whereas there's no issue there.
It sure came in looking different. That's for sure. But the cold, and I was like, woo, what are we going to have here?
Yeah, that wind on Thursday was something else.
Oh, jeepers, creepers. Well, it didn't blow all of our real estate signs over, so that was good, because so many times after the wind, I'll get calls. I'm a neighbor to your listing at so-and-so, and your sign is laying in the yard. But thank God the frozen solid ground helped fight the wind.
There's a positive to everything.
There's a positive to everything. Absolutely. So speaking of real estate signs, there's more and more of them around town because our inventory is up about as high as it's been in the last few years. But that doesn't mean we're saturated. We still have fewer houses on the market than we've had, in 2018, 19, prior to the pandemic. We're still trying to play catch up, because then we'll have more and more buyers continue to coming back into the market, and we'll get back to, what we used to see. I know that at this year's NAR convention, one of the speakers talked about expecting 2026 to look like 2019. And so I looked back at my 2019 and I thought, well, geez, I had a better 2025. So I hope he's not accurate. But I think what he meant is the overall picture.
Right.
Where, things are just getting back to the market that we always knew, where houses listed, buyers bought, houses listed, buyers bought. It didn't fluctuate so much with. Go ahead.
I was going to say, go back to the inventory, and you were mentioning it's back to, like pre-pandemic levels. But I distinctly remember our conversations back then when you were lamenting, even then, the lack of inventory.
Right. Exactly.
So, yeah.
No, so saying we're still shorter than we were then. And we weren't, we haven't had an crazy extra amount of inventory since the crisis of 2008 and 9, 10, back then. So, we can't keep up. Rochester is a growing community, and we have more home buyers coming into the market. And even though we had a little lull when those interest rates went out of whack, they're still out there. They're still waiting, and they're just waiting for the right time to come back in. And so they're coming, right? So we know that the predictions for 2026 are everyone's going to be busier than they were in 2025. And I hope that's true, because we had a fabulous year this year and did more than 10% more than our goal, and did at least 12% better than the year before. We're hoping that, and we definitely foresee that 2026 will even be better. So the real estate market's great. Beautiful time to be a buyer. Again, we can recap why. With a little more inventory than we've had in the last year or two, that makes sellers get a little more stressed, like, oh, geez, I've got more competition. I'm going to have to get realistic about my price and not have this fantasy that I'm going to be able to sell what people sold for a few years back. So our houses are coming on the market, closer to where they should be, and selling at the list price before they do 1 or 2 or 3 price reductions. So it's really good for everybody. when people are getting realistic with their prices as they come on. I think people are also really conscientious about doing all the things they have to do to make their house appealing, right? They are going the extra mile, doing the things. And I know it's different, in summer and winter. So if you're putting your house on the winter, like, what is curb appeal when it's just snow and ice? Well, guess what? Keep that snow and ice off the sidewalk, off the driveway. Use your ice melt to keep those sidewalks as dry as you can. Make sure your house number is visible, and use just simple, tasteful decor on your doorway. I mean, right now it's Christmas, so we see a lot of holiday stuff, and that's fine. And when the holiday is over, get it down and get rid of it. And there's lots of just nice, simple, wintry things that you can have.
Is it good to have photos available of what the house looks like in the summer? So if you have that some nice landscaping, that
is a great point. And, when people say to me, Robin, I know this is a terrible time to list my house because you can't even see my beautiful yard. They're right. I mean, if your yard's a selling point and it's just buried in snow, it does kind of, hurt you a little bit. And that's when I ask, do you happen to have any pictures of your yard from the summertime? Oh, yeah, I have some beautiful ones. I don't necessarily add those to the listing. Once in a while I do, and that's either because the seller is really adamant that I do it, or because it's a really amazing yard with some features that you don't even have any idea are there, right? But
right.
Normally I just say, let's create a little photo album of what the yard looks like in the summer and leave it on the kitchen counter for the buyers to see, because that helps them imagine what it does look like when everything's green and blooming.
Is that something that can significantly add to the value of the house? I'm
not going to say significantly add to the value, but definitely significantly add to the saleability. Like if somebody's going to choose your house over another house, and they're like, oh my God, that yard is my dream yard. But, if they've done extensive landscaping, like expensive retaining walls or things like that, or some gorgeous deck or patio that you can't see right now because it's buried. Yeah, those things definitely add value. So why would we not want to advertise them and let people, make people aware of them?
Is it in the winter time? Are people drawn to homes that have, gas fireplaces?
Oh, you're so smart. Things that matter in the winter that people don't ask much about in the summer are, is this a heated garage? Oh my gosh, it's a heated garage with insulated garage doors. The walls are all taped and painted. The garage floor has been finished because you know what? In the winter, I mean, we spend time in our garages in the summer, right? But we don't necessarily do it to stay warm and dry. In the summer, we just do it because that's where the tool bench is, or that's where the things are stored. But in the winter, if you can be out there when it's freezing cold, I've seen people use their garage as their workout area, like maybe the third stall, or, just the kind of guys hangout room with the TV mounted on the wall and a lazy boy. I've seen it all. So in the winter time, the fact that there's a garage heater is much more exciting to buyers than it is in the summertime. And fireplaces, whether those are wood-burning fireplaces, wood-burning stoves, gas fireplaces, everybody's really excited about that when they're hunting for houses in the winter, more so than they are in the summer. I mean, they still like it, and they think, oh, great, next winter I'll have a fireplace. But when you go in to show a house and it's freezing cold out, and you walk in and there's a big old fire in the fireplace, it's a super seller for sure.
I can see that very easily.
Mm-hmm. People also will pay attention to high efficiency utilities. Like you put in a new furnace and it's high efficiency. That matters when it's 10 below zero outside. So yeah, there are different things that people will get excited about. They're all things that matter. They matter whether you're buying the house in the spring or the summer or the winter, because it's eventually going to be winter.
Right.
But they shine brighter in the winter for sure.
All right, Robin, we have to take a break. We'll do that come right back. Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group-RE results here at News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
We'll be right back with Robin Gwaltney and Andy Brownell on Rochester Real Estate. This is News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM. Welcome back to Rochester Real Estate with Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group RE/MAX Results and Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk, 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us. Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group RE/MAX Results here at KROC AM and 96.9 FM. We've been just talking about winter things dealing with real estate, but overall, I heard a report nationally that there was a decent bump in overall home sales for the month of November, both month to month and year to year.
Yes. Yep. And let me tell you, I actually have some statistics. That's a perfect segue. I'll share some things. Okay. For 2025, the median sale price in Rochester has been $345. Last year it was $339. So that went up. So year over year, a change of 1.8%. So home prices are slightly up year over year, right? But that does debunk all those people that say,
right,
prices have gone down. No, they haven't. Just that people were in the habit of overpricing their properties. And so they see a list price that was inflated, shouldn't have been that high in the first place. And then they watch it drop down and they translate that to values have dropped when that is not the truth at all. What has happened is they're just mispricing them. So again, I talked about that a little bit earlier, but pricing is so very important and has never been more important in my opinion.
You know, along those lines, I kind of keep track when a home goes for sale in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
And wait for it to close so I can actually see what the close price was on it.
Yeah.
And if you compare it to the pandemic years to now, I'd say $40,000 to $50,000 higher overall over the last 4 years.
Well, the 12-month change, according to Zillow, has been 3.3%. So yeah, you're right. And
yes.
Another thing, people think that houses are sitting on the market so long. But 12 months ago, the average days was 31. And this year, the average days is 24. So it was things were selling actually a little bit quicker. So, a week is a week. And whether it's 24 days or 31 days, there's nothing to balk about in either
oh, goodness.
situation, right? So
it's
we're getting
too fast.
Yeah. Well, it's about right. I think it's about right. We're getting about 80 to 100 new listings each month. And the percentage of homes selling above the listing price, this goes back to pricing them right, is 30%. So 30% of the homes, when you're pricing them right, are still selling above the listing. So everybody's like, oh, we're in totally a buyer's market. And statistics might show that when I go over that market report and I say, what our saturation rate is and what the percentage of buyers to sellers is and all those things, it does feel like it's more of a seller's market. But I will tell you, in the real world, it's pretty balanced. Or more of a buyer's market, excuse me. It's pretty balanced. If you're pricing your house right, you're still selling it quickly and you're still selling it for what you're asking or more.
Once again, pricing it right is the key.
Yes, exactly. So people always ask me, like, where are the most expensive listings? And I have a lot of people come to town and they'll say, well, I've heard from the doctor who interviewed me or the person who interviewed me that I only want to live Southwest. People, I'm going to tell you something. Rochester has some really amazing neighborhoods. In the Southwest, yes. In the Southeast, yes. In the Northeast, yes. And in the Northwest, yes. There are more and more new neighborhoods popping up all over the city, and there are some remarkable neighborhoods in every quadrant of the city. So when you're looking for houses, look with your eyes wide open, okay? And you might even come across some neighborhoods that you weren't even aware existed.
Absolutely.
But if you're working with an experienced agent, I promise you, we're very aware. We know about these neighborhoods.
I grew up in Northwest Rochester, and I never thought I would live in the Southeast quadrant just because it was the world I knew, Elton Hills area.
Right, right.
And now I live in the Southeast Quadrant, and I wouldn't change it in the world. There's dirty little secret. There's no traffic.
Yeah, and you've had neighbors that stay as long as you've stayed, so you have that
decades.
Because yes. Actually, one of the team members on our team is looking to buy a house because her daughter has decided to stay and attend Rochester Community Technical College, so RCTC. And she's thrilled about it, of course, because her daughter will be so close to home, but yet doesn't want to stay at home. So they're thinking about buying a house for their daughter and a few roommates to rent. And she's like, where would you recommend it? I'm like, oh my God, I am such a fan of Meadow Park. I am such a fan of your neighborhood, Andy. There's so many nice Southeast neighborhoods that are on the convenient side of town for the college. Now, clearly, you can drive from Elton Hills to the college very easily. You can drive from Country Club Manor to the college very easily. Anything is going to be
Sure.
Nothing's going to be terribly. You're in Rochester. Nothing's going to be terribly inconvenient. But I think there's a lot of neighborhoods over in Southeast that I just love.
Yeah, as you pointed out, you look in every corner of the city, you'll find some really, really nice areas.
Yes, some little golden nuggets. And again, a lot of times, like you said, you knew what you knew, and you didn't know a lot about other neighborhoods.
Right.
And that's fun. It's fun to go out and explore and get to know this whole city.
Absolutely. And, you were talking about the convenience of getting back and forth. I can't imagine when you talk to people who are moving here from, major cities and other parts of the country, and you explain the commute times. It doesn't matter where you're at.
Well, you know what they say to me?
They must go, that's ridiculous.
They'll say, I just want to make sure I'm within 30 minutes of work. And I'm like, well, that pretty much means you can live anywhere. Anywhere you want. You can live in Rochester. You can live in Stewartville. You can live in St. Charles. You can live in Eota. You can live in Byron. I mean, there's a lot of places you can live and get to work in 30 minutes. So
absolutely. There's places you can get there in 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Very easily.
Lots of places.
Well, Robin, why don't we take another break?
Okay.
We'll come back and continue chatting with Robin Gwaltney. Gwaltney Group-RE Max Results. This is News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
We'll be right back with Robin Gwaltney and Andy Brownell on Rochester Real Estate. This is News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 to Rochester Real Estate with Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group-RE Max Results and Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Thanks for joining us on this Saturday morning. Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group-RE Max Results, here at News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM. And we're talking, Robin, about all the numbers associated with real estate and particularly the Rochester area, southeastern Minnesota. And you were talking about folks who come to you and talk about, what's it like in a down market? And the statistics don't exactly match that description, particularly here in this part of the state. How hard is it to get past that psychological roadblock? Because all this news that you hear is national in scope, and a lot of it's pointed to these very specific high population locations that have absolutely nothing to do with us.
Well, as you can imagine, because you know me very well, very, very well, we've been doing this show for a long time. How long? Do you know?
Oh, gosh. It's 6 years, 7?
When did I can't even think of his name.
Rich Peterson?
Rich. When did Rich retire?
Oh,
that's when we started.
I'm going to get stumped on that one.
That's when we started. So it's been a while.
Oh, my gosh. Then we're probably talking more than 10 years.
Because I was doing it prior to you with Rich and prior. Yeah. So anyway, bottom line is I know the data. Okay. Because this is what I study all week long. I study the data so that when I come on as the local expert on your show on Saturday mornings, I know what the heck I'm talking about. I study the data so when I do my little segment on Midwest Access on Thursday afternoons that I know what I'm talking about. So I love it because people will come to me expecting me to know the data, and I know the data. So when I explain it to people, I feel like I can really comfort their minds in a quick hurry. Like, oh my gosh, that makes sense. Like sometimes people will come and say, oh, Robin, I just know there's going to be this whole big blow up and there's going to be all these foreclosures just like we had back. I said, no. So this is the deal. When 2008 and 9 came, people were upside down in their houses. What that means is they couldn't even sell them for what they owed on them. So for people to sell them, they had to bring money to the table, which people didn't have. And that's what caused that crisis, okay? The average homeowner, if you've had your house for 5 years, the average homeowner who's owned their house for 5 years has $140,000 worth of equity in it. So you're going to be able to sell your house. Let's say your job did change or your situation did change, or there was a divorce and you can't afford the house anymore. Sure, that's going to happen, but it doesn't mean you're going to be headed to foreclosure, because you're going to be able to call me, put the house on the market, walk away with a big chunk of change that you'll use to temporarily rent something less expensive, or even buy something that's less expensive. Maybe it's just time to downsize your bills, downsize your space, all of those things. So trust me when I tell you, if you have questions about why I am so doggone upbeat and positive about the market, I have to laugh. I've been insured by Red Essig for a lot of years. And I hope you're listening, Red, because he came last week to bring me a nice gift for the holidays. And he said, I love listening to you on Saturday morning, Robin, and I just can't get over how upbeat you are about this market. And I'm like, wait a minute, what is not to be upbeat about? And so then I had sold him his house a few years back, and I was prepared to tell him, do you want to know how much equity you've built in just the time you had? It's like, I love to come armed with data. So bring it. This is exciting. Right now, the month of, just listen to this one.
Okay.
The pending home sales. Here we are, the end of the year, right? The pending home sales are the highest they've been all year. And we're at the end of the year. That means these houses that are pending to sell have gone under contract in the winter months, right? So people, it's good. It is all good. I'll give you some numbers that'll kind of put it in perspective. In 2021, that was almost every realtor in the United States best year ever. And that's because, as you've heard me say a million times, the interest rates were 2.5%, 2.7%, 2.0, 2.2. It was free money, basically. It was very, very cheap money. So people were buying houses. Well, at that time, okay, now I just lost my train of thought. What was I saying? Okay, at that time, we had our best year. We closed 115 million in volume that year. It was off the charts. We had never seen anything like it in my team. We were by far the most productive team in Rochester. And so no other team closed that much. So 115 million was the most productive team for closed in 2021. That was us. We are again this year the most productive team. We have been every year since then and prior to, actually, but we will close this year 111 million. So only 4 million less than we did in our best year. But you know what's crazy? That year we carried over 6 million in sales for the following year. This year we're going to carry over somewhere between 7.5 and 8 million. So we're actually going to carry over more business, which means these last few months we've been busier than we were even that year.
And that was with 2.5-3% interest rate.
Exactly. And the rates just 6 weeks ago were a point higher than they are today. And a lot of these pending transactions took place then. So my prediction is 2026 is going to be amazing. It's just absolutely a great real estate market here in our little corner of the world. I'm not speaking by any means nationally, because believe me, when I tell you that I have friends in every market, and there are several that have been struggling.
Absolutely. But you want, just evidence for your own eyes. Just take Highway 52 drive south from the north into the city, look to the east and the west, and count how many construction cranes you see.
Yes.
That's built-in demand right there.
That it is. We are growing. So it is all good.
Oh, goodness. Well, I suppose it's time to head out and get back to getting ready for the holidays.
I know, you're the one that's got to get back to getting ready. I'm ready, buddy.
Okay, Robin, if somebody wants to talk to you about this area and real estate and the opportunities for both buying and selling, how do they get a hold of you?
Okay, I'm just going to say one thing. Not even just this area. I have a lot of viewers who call me to say, hey, I'm moving to Texas, I'm moving to Florida, I'm moving to Arizona. Can you line me up with a realtor who is also very knowledgeable? And I say, oh my gosh, I sure can. So I love to do that. So if you have any questions about this area or any area, call my cell phone, and that number is 507-259-4926.
All right, Robin, thank you.
Can I add one more thing?
Absolutely.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, Happy all the things, and thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, Robin, and happy holidays to you as well. Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group RE/MAX results on News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.